Condoleezza Rice's visit to the Middle East comes as new documents emerged which apparently prove that the United States plotted to overthrow the democratically elected Hamas government in Palestine.
The documents obtained by Al Jazeera appear to show that Washington tried to persuade Mahmoud Abbas, the Palestinian president and leader of the rival Fatah faction, to kick Hamas out of power and install an emergency government.
When that failed, the U.S. set up an operation to fund Fatah fighters to drive Hamas out by force. But instead, a civil war broke out in Gaza and Hamas took control. Imran Khan has this report.
June 2007 and Gaza is on fire. In just 5 days, Hamas took control of the Strip. Their outnumbered forces sweeping aside Fatah, the traditional leaders of the Palestinians and heirs to Yasser Arafat. It was a civil war just 18 months after Palestinians voted Hamas to power in an election that was strongly supported by the White House. But now new evidence has come to light that suggests the US administration began plotting to remove Hamas from power after that election, and may have actually triggered the Hamas takeover of Gaza. In Washington, there's dismay after Hamas's victory. Officials begin formulating a plan to remove Hamas from power and rerun the elections. In November 2006, a memo apparently written by the US's senior diplomat in Jerusalem is given to senior Fatah officials. It's apparently directed at Mahmoud Abbas. Hamas should be given a clear choice, with a clear deadline. Hamas should be given a defined period of time in which to respond. They either accept a new government that meets the quartet's principles, or they reject it. The consequences of Hamas's decision should also be clear. If Hamas does not agree within the prescribed time, you should make clear your intention to declare a state of emergency and form an emergency government explicitly committed to that platform. But President Abbas fails to follow the US plan. Brutal fighting between the factions continues, and in early 2007, Abbas is persuaded to travel to Mecca in Saudi Arabia. There he agrees to form a unity government that includes Hamas. Again, that's not what Washington wants. Details of the US reaction are revealed in a second document from March 2007. The objectives are the same, but the method is more aggressive. The plan is to oust Hamas by force and deliver Fatah to power, by supporting Fatah with weapons and money. Backed by US money, Fatah security forces are trained in both Egypt and Jordan. From there, they're sent to patrol the streets of Gaza. But fearing Fatah's growing power, Hamas reacts swiftly. And 5 days later, Fatah is crushed in Gaza. 8 months on, and the Palestinian nation is still split. Fatah control the West Bank, Hamas control Gaza, and US moves attempts to bring peace to the region are in tatters. Condoleezza Rice arrived in Cairo on Tuesday, and these revelations about America's apparent undermining of Palestinian democracy will make the delicate business of building trust even more difficult. Imran Khan, Al Jazeera.
Now, we've just heard Condoleezza Rice in Ramallah. Speaking earlier in Cairo, this was US Secretary of State Condoleezza Rice's response to the allegations.
It is very clear that Hamas is being armed, and it's very clear that they're being armed in part by the Iranians. So if the answer is that Hamas gets armed by the Iranians and nobody helps to improve the security capabilities of the legitimate Palestinian Authority security forces, that's not a very good situation. And I expect, therefore, that you're going to continue to see support for the international community, the United States among them, working with the regional states and working with the Palestinians to establish a professional and capable Palestinian security force that can be part of the solution, that can defend a new Palestinian state, that can defend against terrorism, but most importantly, that can defend its own people.